You're listening to SM Media.
Hi, folks, and welcome to this week's episode of the Scottish Women's Football Show right here on SM Media. I'm Scotty Pike. It is always a pleasure to be your host, and it is always an absolute privilege to be joined by the one and only Suzanne Mulvey.
Thanks for having me, and it's been a great start already. Quite excited to discuss what's been happening this weekend.
If you could sum it up in one word, the start of the weekend, it's probably goals. Only
Goals.
two teams haven't scored out of the two leagues.
Yeah, goals definitely been really exciting. A lot of different scorers as well. Not many surprises, kind of in terms of scorelines, but just goals. It's been great to see, so many new signings getting involved as well.
That was one thing that jumped out to me as like the squads just look so much different. Like I know we kind of thought that, but like even like the squads that are like were really impressive last season, they've had a lot of changes to them, a lot of different goal scorers as we know. I really like. Obviously, we had it on Saturday. Obviously, with Celtic winning 9-0 in the opening game against Dundee United. Just again, just that the way Celtic are just able to just kind of find just wee changes. They still got a real good core. Like Noonan were double. I had heard a lot of good things about the Saoirse Noonan. I'd heard a lot of good things about her that she was going to come in and score goals. Double on opening day. Ashworth Clifford, good to see her back as well. And then you've got Karsten, Smith, Lorenko, Gallagher, and then Maria McMenemy with a double. You just Celtic again. They've just obviously coming into a high after what they did last season and couldn't have got off to a better start.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Very dominant. I think Elena Suduka said that in our post-match interview. She's dominant. That's what she wants to be, dominant, and it showed it. They were very comfortable throughout. Loads of different scorers, which was good to see. It's good to see, new sirens scoring. Also good to see some other players. Amy Gallagher likes that bottom corner. That was the one that she scored the winner to get late. Scored the exact same bottom corner again. So yeah, just exciting to see so many new faces, and as you say, a dominant performance. They weren't tested at all. Susie Shepherd, the Dundee United manager, obviously said that there is positives that they can take from it, and I think it's important for teams like Dundee United to realise that they're not going to go to teams like Celtic and pick up points. They've got to be realistic. So it's just, what can you take from the performances? What can you learn? And that's the most important thing for them, for learning from the different experiences, and how can they take that into games that they'll need that experience, games where it will be tighter, where they can use their little bit of experiences to hopefully pick up some points.
And it can be obviously like a sore one on opening day when you're losing 9-0. But I did obviously see Susie's comments after the game. Dundee United aren't going to Celtic with any expectations. Let's be honest, they're not. And that's the kind of the way the league's going to be this season. Is it's going to be games against like Aberdeen, Montrose, Queens Park, where they're going to be. That's going to be a mini league. We know that, but to go there on opening day, obviously Celtic coming in with a lot of confidence. A new look squad as well, Dundee United. Difficult day, obviously won't have been a pleasant one, but overall, like when you've not got that expectation of what you can do on opening day, I don't necessarily think it's a bad first game to have and just get it out of the way. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, in a sense you could say that. They're against the top side. They're not gonna, they're not gonna pick up points. So to get that, like you says, get that out of the way, and as well for me, I think that as an ex-player, you don't want to go to places and see teams lifting trophies or raising the flag as Celtic did. But I think as well, it's quite good for these young players to see that is the end goal. These players at Dundee United, that is the end goal. They want to be top of the game. They want to be raising the flag after winning the league the season before. So, for them to get kind of a taste of that, if you like, professional top class experience that you get for winning the league, to be involved in that and see that, I think it would be quite good for them. They've maybe got families that came to watch. So yeah, the result wasn't great for them, but I think the experience of playing somewhere like Parkhead, and obviously as well playing against some of the top players in the league, it is a good experience for them, and like I said, they'll just want to take what they can from that and use it going forward.
On the Rangers, they got their season off to a brilliant start as well. 11-0 win at Aberdeen. Katie Wilkinson with 4 goals, doubles from Hardy and Arnott, Berry, McLaughlin and an own goal. And Rangers, they've kept most of their consistency. Do you know what I mean? They're still there. Like Leah Eddy came straight in. Katie Wilkinson could be an absolute revelation already. 4 goals for her on opening day. Like, she'll been looking at that as well and going, like, to get off to a fast start, it's going to be make all the difference. To score 4 goals in opening day, massive statement.
Yeah, to score 4 goals in any game in any league is a great, a fantastic achievement, first of all. To do it on open day season after travelling away to Aberdeen. And it's one of the ones, like you said, it's good for Dundee United to get the Celtic game out of the way. It's probably good for Rangers to get the Aberdeen one out of the way early on as well. You hate travelling up to Aberdeen. It's the journey's a nightmare. It's hard on your legs. But you're excited about the season starting, that going to Aberdeen isn't a bad thing in the first game of the season, get it over and done with. And to come away with such a fantastic result in terms of the goals that they scored, absolutely fantastic. We spoke about goal difference coming down to at the end of the season, and it's not stupid to turn around and say that you want to be talking about goal difference this early on in the season. If you're always on top of the league or always ahead, then everybody's chasing you. And after seeing Celtic winning 9-0 on the Saturday, for Rangers then to go away and top that by winning 11-0 the day after, it's a statement from them, I believe. And like you said, loads of different scorers. It's great to see players like Lizzie Arnott coming back into the fold. She had a good season a couple of seasons ago, tailed away a bit, but for her to score half of what she scored last season in the open day, it's fantastic as well. Only four goals last season, so to get a double was great for her. And like you say, players just chipping in. Katie Wilkinson, fantastic goals that she scored. She looks dominant. I'm really excited to see her against some of the top defenders, some of the top teams, to see what she can do, because she looks like a physical presence and a real threat for them.
Do you think it's already, like, I know we're a weekend in, do you think it is, like we saw some of the results this weekend, do you think there already is a kind of valid case for what they're kind of doing with the 10-team league and the way they're going to split it up? Because although we want to see teams blown away, and really impressing, especially if you're at a game as well, as I'll get your thoughts on later, but it's not a great look for the league if teams are coming and getting blitzed 11-0. It's not. But
yeah, no, definitely. You hate seeing big scorelines. As a player, you want to be playing in games where it's tight, where you're challenged. Of course, you want to be scoring as many goals as possible, but you'd much rather win, 1-0 and get the winning goal than score five goals in a 11-0 drought or whatever. So it's. Yeah, you can totally see, I watched the video on the whole restructure and why they've done it, and it totally made sense in terms of straight away it's shown, they were saying that it was the league with the highest amount of goals before split, but then after the split, it was kind of below average, the amount of goals scored per game. So this is exactly the reason why you want to see competitive games, you want to see it tight right to the very end of the season, so it definitely makes sense.
And probably a result we didn't see coming was Queen's Park 1, Hearts 11. Now, I think we've got to give a lot of due to Hearts as well, because looking at their squad, like five players have scored two goals, and like looking at their squad, they look very, very impressive. They look very compact as well. Queen's Park, though, I remember having Craig on the show, and you were on as well, and he had that confidence. Doesn't matter, just like you can't set up for a team like Hearts on opening day. I don't know if they've tried to match them. I don't know if they've looked at Hearts on video and thought, right, we can have a go here. Opening day, I really think, I don't know what they've set up like, but I can't see anything other than Queen's Park have tried to match Hearts, and it's just went all wrong. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I think they've maybe not realised how good Hearts are. Make no mistake about it. Hearts drew with Rangers last season. They put some other top sides really, really close. Right at the very end, they were close to holding Celtic. So they're a very, very good side, a very dominant side. And although they've lost some players, they've signed some really good players. And I think that possibly is a mistake, that they maybe did underestimate how good Hearts were. Lisa Robertson dominant in the centre of the park. Beattie coming in, Wade. Tim's, it's good to see her back in the goal sheet as well. I feel a couple of seasons ago she was absolutely flying, and again, she kind of slipped away a bit. So it's great to see her getting a few goals. But yeah, I just think that they're such a good team that that they'll be wanting to fight for that, third position, if you like. And I think for Queen's Park to possibly try and match them, it possibly was a bit of an underestimation from them. But again, their season won't be defined on results against, if you like, the top 4 or 5 sides. So I feel that disappointment at the scoreline for Craig, but if you were looking at it realistically, they probably weren't going to come away with any points anyway.
Yeah, I think it is just that case of obviously we were talking during the games, and that was the first result that jumped on the eye, and there's a couple obviously in SWPL too that were quite eye catching as well. But that was the one because although we do see, look at Hearts' squad. I mean, they are really stacked, and as we say, Wade with a double, Adam Malokin with a double, Beattie, Timms, and Richards all scoring 2. But I look at that Queen's Park side and thought they were absolutely excellent last season in SWPL 2, and I thought they would make the jump up, and they still could. But you don't know what that does to confidence, because that's the first game in that league, and that is a body blow. It is, and we need to obviously look at that. I really hope they come back from it. I really hope they can recover. I really like Craig. I've got a lot of time for him. There's a lot of players in the squad I really hope do well at this level. But I'm very interested to see how it turns up. But yeah, fair play to Hearts. I thought, just looking at the stats as well, it wasn't a case of like 19 shots. I mean, 12 on target. 19 shots on target, 12 off target. 31 shots, 11 goals. That's quite a good percentage.
Yeah, one every 3 shots. It's a good ratio.
Pretty dominant, isn't it? It's.
Yeah, I was quite impressed with some of the players. As you say, the finishing was excellent. But yeah, just a dominant performance, and I think that is what Queen's Park need to take from it. They need to realise that isn't going to define their season. They need to try and have better performances against the top sides, because again, we're talking about goal difference for the top of the league. It could come down to goal difference at the bottom end as well. So I think it's important that you try and stay as compact as possible and concede as little goals as possible. But yeah, Hearts were outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. Another team that were impressive for opening day was City. A hat trick from, and I'm going to get this right, Sophia Mata. I believe that. Apologies if it's wrong. She scored a hat trick on opening day. Kozlova with a double, Van Diemen and Love with the goals as well to round off a 7-0 victory at Montrose. Glasgow City are probably coming into that season fairly under the radar, because Celtic and Rangers have obviously kind of leapfrogged them, but 7-0 at Montrose, they'll take that all day long. And for your new signings to get off the mark as well, Matata with a hat trick and Kozlova with a double. It looks a new look Glasgow City squad, and it's probably going to take them a bit of time to gel, but a fairly impressive start.
Yeah, I thought they were excellent. I really liked Kozlova. I thought that her finishing was excellent. I thought that she looked very composed. And again, quite similar to Wilkinson, it'll be exciting to see her in the top games, to see how if she can come out on top against some of the really top defenders in the league. But yeah, really, really impressive. 7-0, great performance, some great debuts for some of the players. Great to see Lisa Evans back in as well, a second debut for Glasgow City. But for me, the biggest kind of delight of the afternoon was Jo Love getting a goal. At her age, having a knee injury, coming back, and the commentator says, her first goal in almost 3 years. It's just brilliant to see her on the score sheet, and hopefully she'll be able to get right back in that team and start dominating like she did many years ago.
Yeah, I think as well with Montrose, obviously there's been a lot of changes there. They won't take any that won't be a result they were expecting to anything other than, they probably weren't expecting 7-0, but I don't think they would have been expecting anything for the game. You're already beginning to see a few sides looking at staying up as their own league, like the United, Aberdeen, Queen's Park, Montrose, probably throw Spartans in there as well. It's 5 teams. It's probably going to be 2 places. Do you know what I mean? That's 2 places for survival. It's already shaping up that way. And I just look at kind of the games coming up. You're already looking at Spartans play Partick Thistle. There's games coming up. Queen's Park play Spartans, and then you've got Dundee United at Queen's Park at the end of August. Do you know what I mean? Already they'll be looking at those games going, those are 6-pointers, because they have to be, because that's how you stay up. It's not going to be how you are against Glasgow City. It's how you are against the teams round about you. And you saw that as well. Obviously, a really impressive result from Motherwell on opening day. Quite a statement one, actually, I thought, because Motherwell obviously very, very solid last season to be where they were, probably best of the rest in terms of the bottom 6. 5-1 away win at Spartans. Rachel Todd with a double, who I think could be a big player for them. Collins, Gibb and Cross with the goals as well. Motherwell will just be hoping again. I don't think they're any threat of going down, but they're certainly probably looking at top six going, we can look for that.
Yeah, we had discussed that on the preview show. What side will you get? And I think that Motherwell have kind of put a statement out there saying that they want to show what they're all about this season and dominate against the teams that are kind of round about them. And they definitely showed that as well. A good solid performance. We kind of expected that from Spartans, but on the other side, Motherwell turned up and did what they needed to do.
Absolutely. Final game in the SWPL 1, Partick Thistle 1, Hibs 2, Ferguson and Bowie with the goals for Hibs, Lawton scoring for Partick Thistle. This was always going to be a tight game. You look at the stats, fairly evenly matched in terms of shots and kind of like other things as well. Possession, Hibs are a bit more. Hibs are a side that you quite like this season.
Yeah, although she wasn't on the score sheet, Kathleen McGovern impressed me with her link-up play. She was involved in quite a lot. I was watching her closely and I really liked her movement. I think she had some great runs, and especially setting up the second goal as well. She's pulled a couple of defenders away, which was really good to see. So I think she'll be one that will be kind of vital for them this season. But as a striker, you want to be on the score sheet. But just because she wasn't, it doesn't mean that she didn't play her part. And I mean, Partick Thistle, a big chance at the end of the game. They could have kind of got that point, but disappointing because they've kind of dominated against Hibs the last couple of seasons. That's been the team where they've shown that they are worthy of the top 6 spot by picking up points against them. So massive game, and obviously Hibs coming out on top was fantastic for Hibs.
Right, into SWPL 2, Suzanne. I don't think there'll be many leagues in world football where all the teams have scored on opening day. Yeah,
fantastic. Advert, we're talking about, maybe some of the bigger scorelines and the great advert, but in SWPL 2, some fantastic results, some great goals, some good performances, some not so good performances, but yeah, just a fun. When you look at all the different results, it's exciting to see who's kind of over the next few weeks who's going to be rising up the table.
The first game I want to touch on is SWF Championship winners last season, Rossvale. They opened their season with a 4-1 home win against Kilmarnock. Didn't see that coming. You had a bird's eye view though, you were there. What do you think of Rossvale at first glance? And obviously, was it a case of they just blitzed Kilmarnock in the day?
They were my team to watch, and the reason why was I thought they were quite an exciting young team with a bit of experience in there as well. They've got Lynn Jackson at the back with bags of experience and Sarah Ryan in goals, and just a dominant performance. I spoke to the Kilmarnock manager after the game, Jim Chapman, and he says his team are just a bit off, that they're a few weeks behind at the moment. So he's kind of thinking in a few weeks' time you'll maybe see the real Kilmarnock. Yeah. But in terms of Rossvale, they turned up. They absolutely turned up. The managers were, when the full-time whistle went, I was quite close to the manager and just absolutely delighted with the result. Very dominant. Could have been more. They had a few more chances. But yeah, they just dominated. I thought they were excellent. I thought they had some really good attacking players at the back. They were solid. And when Sarah Ryan in goals had anything to do, she really came out on top. So it was just a great result for them.
Yeah, obviously Megan Whiteford with a double, Lauren Coleman. These are players that have been there obviously last season. They're a side that are really coming up. I did get that vibe with Kilmarnock looking. I saw their lineup and I thought they are probably a couple of weeks behind, so I can understand that. I still think Kilmarnock will be pretty good this season, but Rossvale, I think that's a massive statement. Another big statement was at Boroughmuir. They won 7-1 at home to Ayr. Galbraith with a double, Mitchie with a double as well. Gallagher, Mason and Forbes with the goals there. Boroughmuir kind of thought they could, they signed a lot of experience, kind of thought they could be eye catchers, but what a statement in the opening game as well.
Yeah, I put my hands up. I missed, Boroughmuir, the signing there, Kaylin Meekie at Boroughmuir. I missed that one. So to see her kind of, the goals, I was like, wait a minute, we never discussed that. But what a fantastic player she is. I've played against her a few times and a really good player for Boroughmuir. So It's great for them to have even more experience in there. And we spoke about them, we maybe didn't mention that they were going to be one of the top sides. Yeah. Maybe we should look at that because they do look really good. And, Mason, Galbraith, just absolutely fantastic in there. And it'll be exciting to see them against some of the top sides now. It'll be really interesting to see if they can, end up at the top end at the end of the season because they're looking good at the moment.
Yeah, and Ayr as well, obviously that will be a result they'll look at on opening day and think that that's kind of where we're at, but I still think Ayr have got the quality to do quite well in this league. I think Boroughmuir though could be a real eye-catching side for this league. Another side that I've got to be honest, I wasn't really thinking much of going into the season, but again, I discount Bobby Watson a lot, and I apologise to him every time I speak to him. 6-2 home win for Hamilton against Livingston. Didn't see that result coming. Hamilton obviously have kept a good couple of players at Coatley and Giard, who obviously scored. But you look at where they've got, they've come down, obviously, that'll be a sore one, but the no qualms about it. They're looking to go straight back up, and that shows in the first game.
Yeah, a fantastic result for them. When you get relegated, obviously the first thing you want to do is go back up. So for them to get a dominant performance against a team who were really good last season, they were just off the playoff position last season, Livingston. So, they're not kind of a small team who you'd expect to get turned over from Hamilton, which they did. So yeah, well done to Bobby. He's obviously kind of riled all the girls up, got them ready, and obviously set them with the challenge of going straight up again. So fantastic, great performance for them. It was good to see for Bobby.
Livingston, I was quite surprised with that. Obviously, they're quite a tough side. They've obviously had a lot of transition over the past couple of seasons. I do think, though, that they should be good. You can look at this league and go that there's 4 or 5 teams who are probably not promotion contenders, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do really well.
Yeah.
And I think Livingston are in that mix. Probably a disappointing result, but they've still got the quality to be quite good contenders in this league. Gartcairn won 2-1 at home at St Johnstone. Obviously, I think Hannah Clark was sent off in the first game for St Johnstone as well. Gartcairn, though, narrow win, but quite important.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where the two teams are. Gartcairn didn't do so well last season, and St Johnstone were a hit or a miss. So I think it'll be interesting to see both of the teams when they're up against one of the teams that we're kind of pipping for the top spots. Yeah. Good to see. And then, but straight away for Gartcairn, 3 points on the table, fantastic for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's obviously been a really interesting opening week. We will have an SWF roundup going up on Wednesday as well, so stay tuned for that. That'll obviously give you an idea of what's been happening in the SWF Championship and League One. I'll just run through the results there. Quickly, we had Dryborough 7, West Dyke 3, East Fife 2, Stirling Uni 0, Stenhousemuir 0, Falkirk 4, Forfar Farmington 3, Renfrew 2, Glasgow Women 3, Greenock Morton 2, and Hutchinson Vale 0, Inverness 1. Into the League One, obviously, a couple of new sides, and some of them were eye-catching. Armadale 4, St Mirren 6, Bonnyrigg 3, Queen of the South 1, Dundee West 3, Kilwinning 3, Dunipace 1, Inverurie Locals 5, and Edinburgh Caledonia 3, Giffnock 4. A couple of eye-catchers, obviously, in the Championship. Dryborough, Falkirk, obviously, starting pretty well. That's got a makings. These two leagues have got quite a good makings because there's some good sides in them, and you see it. They're continuing the goals thing as well into the League One as well. All five games, both teams scored. So 10 teams and they've all scored opening game.
I think the most exciting thing about their leagues is that they've not got out and out teams who are going to be up there and winning. You know that Rangers and Celtic are going to be up there. In SWPL 1 always, that it's going to be between them, obviously Glasgow City as well. So for them, it's exciting, that there could be 3, 4, maybe even 5 different teams who could win either of the leagues. So it's really exciting to see that. It's great to see, all the teams scoring. It shows that they're capable of scoring. If they can just shore it up a bit at the back, then, maybe they'll be kind of right up there as well. So yeah, just fantastic advent again for the women's game.
Yeah, absolutely. But we've had a fascinating opening show. We won't have a show next week because there's a wee bit of home decor going on in the headquarters of the SM Media Towers. But we'll be back the week after. Obviously, some fascinating games. We've got a double bill in terms of midweek action. There's going to be some midweek action the week after. Celtic Glasgow City next week. We're already, 2 weeks in, and we've got a big crunch tie. That could be a real eye catcher.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and like I said, I'd like to see Koslova against one of the top sides, and straight away we're going to see a right in there against the likes of Kelly Clark, Caitlin Hayes, Chloe Craig. So yeah, exciting for that. And as well, this is a chance for Glasgow City to continue to show that they're one of the dominant teams and that they're not going to roll over and make it easy for other teams to turn up and get the points. So really exciting game.
No, I'm looking forward to this, Suzanne. Always a pleasure. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks very much.
Brilliant. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in. Follow us on social media for our consistent women's football coverage. And as always, subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels. We'll see you all soon. Thank you.